You must have heard from the people that they are using VPN on their laptops or maybe on their phones, or sometimes they say they are using VPN in their offices. So the question is, what this VPN is? Well, when it comes to VPN or virtual private network, you should always remember one thing. VPN means it is all about encryption. Now the question is what encryption is. Let's try to understand with few examples. Let's assume Bob went in a foreign country for a tourism purpose, but while coming back at the airport, he realized that his flight was cancelled for some reason. At that point, Bob had two choices: either he could book the ticket for some other day, or he could book the flight on same day if he had some kind of urgency. So let's assume Bob had an urgency that he had to report in office on next day. So he had to book flight in any situation. So what he did, he removed his phone and tried to book flight. But what happened, he realized that his internet data plan was already expired. Now Bob has two choices: either he could go to purchase new data plan, or he could just search for free internet which are available at the airport. And believe me, in most cases people look for free internet service at the airport. Let's say Bob also looked for the free internet and he was able to find the network called Airport Free Wi-Fi. After connecting that free Wi-Fi service, Bob realized the internet speed was so fast that he could access any website within few seconds. So first thing Bob did, he booked his ticket. Then after that, he said like since he had to wait at the airport, so why not access few more websites, right? So he went to check on his email, he went to his social networking websites like Facebook or some other websites. Then he also decided to check his bank account because he wanted to know how much money he had spent during his vacation. So he verified all the transactions he had made. Then hour later he departed from that foreign country to his home country. But now what happened? After landing, he started getting messages from his bank that the money has been withdrawn from his account. First, Bob thought this might be some kind of joke, but the banking official said to him the money was actually withdrawn by himself. But Bob tried to convince them that he was in the flight all the time. So how these transactions happened when Bob was sitting in the airplane? Let's try to understand that. Well, it all started at the airport itself when Bob connected to free internet Wi-Fi. Basically what happens at the public places, there are some hackers or attackers are there. They use their own device and they publicly notify that there are some free Wi-Fi services enabled which might be provided by the airport, but in reality those Wi-Fi actually enabled by these hackers or attackers. So when Bob connected to that free Wi-Fi internet, basically he was connected to hacker's Wi-Fi device. So all this time when Bob was accessing all the websites like ticketing websites, his social networking websites, maybe his email he was accessing, or maybe when he went to his banking website, he was actually passing his traffic via attacker's wireless device. And attackers, what they do basically, they start reading all the information was passing through that particular device. At this point, attacker was able to find the credential was sending by Bob, the website he was visiting. So when Bob had visited to his banking website, he sent his username and password to the banking website, but in reality, that credential was also shown on the attacker's wireless device. This kind of attack is actually known as man-in-the-middle attack. So attacker was able to understand each and every information was sent by Bob to all these websites. After Bob had departed the flight, attacker started his activity. He logged in into Bob's banking website and created himself as a beneficiary. Sometimes some banking websites they don't have enabled the one-time password, or in some cases the banking website they send the one-time password on their email. At this point, like attacker had a good chance to create his name as a beneficiary and he transferred all the money to his own account. That is how the attacker was able to gain all the money from Bob's account. Now the question is, how should we protect ourselves from such attacks? Well, one of the best solution is to use VPN. So VPN is one of the solution. Once you install the VPN software, all the traffic you pass to any website, they all get encrypted, which means Whatever the information you pass between the websites and your device, which is maybe laptop or phone, it is all non-readable format. So even though this attacker had access on your information, but when he tried to read that information, it would be in a non-readable format. So basically if you say hi message, that becomes like all kind of garbage information he could see on his laptop. So what this VPN basically do, all the traffic passes from the user's device, maybe from phone or laptop, to any websites you visit, maybe banking websites or your email account website. This all information get encrypted between you and the server. So if the attacker is sitting in the middle and trying to capture your data, or you might sending your information via attacker's free internet device, but still the attacker would not be able to read what that information is. Sometimes this encryption we also call as a tunnel. So what happens when you encrypt the data, your main information get hid by this encryption. That is how you can save your information by using the VPN service. One of the big advantage of having encryption is whenever you pass your information via the VPN or any software which supports the encryption, the information you send, it get encrypted in all different format each time you send the information. So even though these attackers or hackers gain access to this information, but they have to put a lot of effort to decrypt that traffic. And trust me, first it is difficult, second it is impossible to decrypt this information. But let's suppose the attacker was able to decrypt one of the traffic, but still it may have useful information or maybe totally useless. That's why the attackers do not put much effort decrypting all this information. Now let's talk about the benefits of using VPN. Basically VPN is divided into two categories. First is personal VPN and second is enterprise level VPN. Let's talk about personal VPN first. By using the personal VPN, you can hide your identity or your public IP information. So what is this public IP information for you? So if you go to your browser and you can type the website, which is www.whatismyip.com, it is going to give you one of the IP address which belong to your local internet service provider who has assigned that IP to you. Now the question is, why it is important to hide this identity or this IP? Basically what happens when you visit any website, they have enabled the cookies, and with the help of these cookies they can track your activities. And you might already know nowadays the computers are capable of using AI or artificial intelligence. So what this computer basically do, they monitor your activity or your behavior. For example, if you go to any website and you just want to purchase some kind of like phone, right? So this AI based system, they monitor your behavior, which kind of phone you're looking for and which website you're visiting for and what kind of information you are searching on the internet. This AI system, they contact to advertisement vendors and they throw back the advertisement pages on your browser. So that is how you might be wondering, you were just looking for a phone, now you are seeing the advertisement for the phone itself. Because this AI based system, they monitor your behavior and activity by using your public IP. So after connecting the VPN, you basically connect in the VPN service provided by the service provider. So how does the VPN going to help to hide your IP address? Basically what happens when you connect to VPN service, you are connecting to VPN server provided by the service provider or from the vendor you have purchased the VPN software. So if you use the website again, which is whatismyip.com, you might not see your service provider IP, but you might see the VPN server's public IP. That is how you can hide your identity or IP information. The biggest advantage of using VPN is encryption of the data. So whatever the information you pass through the VPN service, it all gets encrypted between your system and the server you are connecting to. The one more advantage of using personal VPN is you can stream the media from any location. So if you take an example about the Netflix, they have some content regulation, which means the content is been released in USA, you cannot watch in maybe UK, and same is like vice versa. But after using the VPN service, you can connect to the server where content was released. For example, you are sitting in UK, then you can connect to VPN server in USA and you can stream the media from UK but by using the IP from USA. That is how you can stream the media even though it is restricted in particular region. Now let's talk about the enterprise VPN. In enterprise offices, we use VPN in different format. The first is site-to-site VPN, second is AnyConnect VPN, and third is software-based or client VPN. There are other VPNs are also available in enterprise level VPN, but these are like three common VPN you can see in most offices. So let's talk about what is site-to-site VPN. Let's suppose you have branch offices in different countries. We know that we cannot use the dedicated circuit between these two locations because it's going to be very expensive. At that point, you can use this site-to-site VPN. Well, in order to enable site-to-site VPN in both branch offices, first thing you may need as an enterprise office level, you may need the firewalls which can support the VPN service. Let's say you have installed the firewalls at both locations. Then you need to take the internet service from your local service provider. Well, after connecting to internet, you enable the VPN service, and in VPN service, you give the main criteria, which is you provide the public IP address of the destination or the site you are going to connect with. You do the same thing on other side as well, and that is how the both sides would be able to connect with each other by using the VPN service. Even though this all information passes through the internet, but still by using this VPN service, this all information gets encrypted, which is non-readable format by any attackers or hackers. The another VPN format is AnyConnect VPN, which is also known as clientless VPN. In this VPN type, what you basically do, you use the VPN service in the browser. So you basically open your browser and you connect to your VPN server from your home by using the browser. In this case, all the information gets encrypted between your browser and your server in the office. So once you close your browser, your session gets expired and then you need to again reconnect to your VPN by using the browser. Well, the Citrix is one of the good example of using AnyConnect VPN or clientless VPN. Now let's talk about client VPN or software-based VPN. This VPN is basically widely used by enterprise offices. Well, in this VPN format, you enable VPN service on your firewall and you also enable the software is going to use by the VPN client. So you download this software from your VPN server and then install it on your laptop. After installing, you put some credentials like your username and password. But if it is certificate-based authentication, then you also install the certificate on your laptop. So one of the advantage of using the client software is you stay connected with your VPN server. So you do not have to provide credentials all the time whenever you want to connect with your office. So these were the all advantages of using VPN. So basically VPN we use for the encryption purpose so that the traffic we pass over the internet remains secure and private. Now let's move on to our next topic, which is storage area network.